push the waves. Please, please, someone just push the waves. And don't just push one, guys. Shove like 4 back to back to back to back in the same lane if you can. Pushing the waves gives you farm, puts pressure on the enemy, gives you vision, and so many more advantages. And the second tip is a reliable play you can use to win the team fights that relates to pushing the waves is 1, you shove the wave all the way in. 2, you wait for the enemy, preferably a strong enemy, to TP back to a side lane tower. Then you immediately go force a team fight on the other side of the map. Easy 4v5, easy comeback mechanic, guys. You're welcome. This move alone, if you remember it, if you have it in your toolbox, is going to gain you a lot of MMR, especially if you're behind, because numbers advantages in Dota just go crazy for team fight wins. Before I get into the next tip, guys, please listen to this so I don't become homeless. I am partnering with Game Leap. Yes, that noob speed. And they're supporting all my Dota content, and they're allowing me to make more Dota content than ever, better Dota content than ever, and I'm playing Raid Shadow Legends now. And if you want to support me and keep seeing my Dota content, play Raid with me. So join the Krabby Raid clan. Click the link in the description and get 2 legendary champions and 3 epic champions. And this is like $200 worth of stuff, or like 6 to 12 months of free-to-play grinding. 3 is take Roshan before tier 2s when you are winning. The amount of throws that happen in every MMR bracket at tier 2s and high ground is insane. And the answer is the Aegis, guys. The Aegis, I mean, you saw how much pros valued it at the International. Roshan is one of the best objectives in the whole game. Remember to take Rosh. The Aegis makes it effectively a 6v5 for your team, and we know how powerful numbers advantages are in Dota. Be the guy who initiates the Rosh for your team. And I know what you're thinking right now, you filthy coper. You're thinking that your team is not going to listen to you, right? But I have a newsflash for you, brother. You are not communicating effectively, or you're not having a good game, or both, okay? People like to listen to people who are having a good game, right? Which makes sense because you've built up trust. People also like to listen to people who've made good calls in the past. So there are things you can do to make your Rosh calls more effective. I promise you, this is what I say. I promise you, if I was in your Archon game playing my Ursa, and I called for Rosh and I started hitting it, my team would without a doubt help me 95% of the time, just because of the way I communicate, and I'd be having a good game. And I also communicate, guys, with my Dota body language. When I'm saying let's Rosh, I'm not on the other side of the map. Okay, this is actually a good tip. I didn't think I'd be talking about this. I am literally like in the Roshan pit, like hitting that. My HP is going down. Tip number 4, guys, is take accountability for your losses. Another way to say this is don't cope. Yeah, I'm talking to you again. Remember that if Ame was playing in your shoes, he would win 99.9% of your games. And it's not worth to think about the 0.1% that are unwinnable. Right? People forget that fact because the game feels hard. So they assume for whatever reason that if it feels hard to them, it's like some impossible game. But that's not the case. There are steps you could have taken to win this hard game that you're thinking about. I promise you. I promise. All right, number 5, guys. This point goes with number 4. It's to recognize that you have the capacity to improve, right? You are not a finished product. Just to let's get philosophical with this one, guys. This is the Krabby cult philosophy. It's okay if you lose an Archon game that you would have won if you're better. The important part is just acknowledging that you could have won this game. Like, stop using your cope as a shield and just admit that. Like, pause and just admit that to yourself right now, please. People in general, I've noticed, especially in Dota, I mean, honestly, this applies to outside of Dota as well, but people like to place fault on things that they can't control. And why do they do this? Because they want to protect their precious ego. Because for whatever reason, they don't see themselves as like a work in progress. They see themselves as like a finished product. And if I lose this game today, it means I'm shit at Dota, right? If it was my fault. But believe in your future self to improve, guys. So many people live with this need for an immediate return to validate and affirm them. Trust in the process, guys. Like, believe in your future self and your capacity to improve. All right, tip number 6, guys, is to play meta. So this is not mandatory, but it definitely helps. And it helps you grow as a long-term player, because if you cycle through different heroes and different metas, then you're just gonna know how to play a lot of heroes. Especially, guys, this is what I do. I dive deep into heroes when they're meta, and I like really learn them. I watch a bunch of replays, and I like only play a few heroes per patch. You know, over a few years of doing this, of like going through these phases where I dive into heroes for months at a time, like my hero pool is just growing. It's awesome. And it's really growing, not like fake growing. If I play Leshrac, if I play him 30 games in a row, I'm going to learn a lot more doing that than playing 30 games of Leshrac over 2 years, right? That's what I'm trying to say. And it's the whole mindset, right? Of like watching a pro replay, studying the item build, studying how they play team fights, all that. All right, number 7, guys, is to find like-minded people to learn with. so you are not alone in the journey. Like me, I am a like-minded person to learn with. And there are also a ton of people in my Discord as well who share this like mentality kind of that I'm talking about. So come join us if you want. Link is in the description. We have a Cope police force in there to make sure the discussions stay based. All right, number 8, guys, this tip is going to be weird, but bear with me. 1v1 your friends. A lot of the times I find that my laning mechanics just like devolve unless I keep them sharp, right? And what happens, even if you're playing Dota, what happens is people will get complacent with their laning mechanics and the enemies will as well. You just like handshake for no reason on both having bad lane mechanics. And in reality, if you were the one who just like rose above and actually laned with intention, you would just win all your lanes. And the way to train this muscle is to 1v1 your friends because you're isolating the lane. Even if you play on side lane or a support, I promise you 1v1ing your friends is going to make a massive difference in your laning mechanics. I feel it myself when I 1v1 my friends, and you will see it, guys. After just a few intentional 1v1s, that's enough to make a difference. Tip number 9, guys. Speaking of being intentional, my next tip is to be intentional when you play. Intentional about what hero you play, you're playing in the game, what objectives you're playing for, who the problem is on the enemy team, all of it. All right, stop the autopilot, guys. Let's use our brains. And then the beauty of this is that if you use your brain and you're wrong, then you learn from it. But if you're autopiloting and you just lose, like, you don't learn anything from that. Last tip, guys, tip number 10 of this video. And remember, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Download Raid if you don't want me to be homeless. You can join my clan if you like it. And again, if Raid isn't your cup of tea, that's totally fine. But it just goes a long way. Like, this is the single best thing you can do right now to support me. And if it is your cup of tea, cool, join my clan. I'm playing it every day. And my clan is getting more powerful as the weeks go by. Anyway, number 10, guys, is to limit your hero pool. So I've explained this concept a lot, but I want to rehash it because even I need a reminder sometimes. So the thesis is that if you're picking a new hero every game and you need to allocate mental energy to think about the item build, the skill build, and your spell casting, then you don't have as much mental energy to think about the macro Dota concepts, like where to play on the map and pushing waves. We're going full circle, guys. And what objectives you want to take. And ironically, these things, those like macro things, are what's going to make you like much better as a Dota player. That's where most players are lacking. Most players I coach like can cast their spells okay, but a lot of them are missing like a lot of these macro concepts. And I recommend like 3 to 4 heroes in your main role only. Another thing this does is it gives respect to the heroes, because naturally if you're only playing 3 or 4 heroes, you'll go through like a deep dive phase of the hero like I was talking about earlier, and then you can just adjust based on the patch to keep things fresh.